15, 8, 20. 816, 15, 8, 20. 816 meaning the 20th of August 2015. And the title of this document is going to be The Unconscious Mind. Sydney, The Unconscious Mind. Virtual conversation with Sydney regarding the unconscious mind. I am in my home on my own, and I am talking to my dictaphone. And I was telling to Sydney just now, in a virtual conversation with Sydney, that it seems that when we talk about what we call the unconscious mind, some people deal with it quite naturally. Excusez-moi, I'm going to put this music down a bit. Some people deal with it quite naturally, and some people have more trouble dealing with it. Now, some examples of that in the family. I am one of them. It looks like forever I have dealt with the concept of the unconscious mind, meaning the voice within, from an early age, from 18 months old actually. That's when the rooster woke me up, really. And from there I have plenty of memories along the way. It looks like Norbert was one of them too. Now, what happened to me is that when I came to Australia and I started at age 27 to read books on personal development and the unconscious mind and how the minds work, that had a positive reaction on me immediately. Everything I read went into my mental box, and I was eager to share that with my brothers and sisters overseas. When I went back to France, Norbert was 17, and I went back with books, and Norbert took the books, and he took them on immediately, and it synced in his mind immediately. It made sense to him. My mother did the same. It made sense to her. And from then on, what we have is people such as yourself, Sydney, who is obviously quite aware of your inner voice. So that makes you easier to deal with negative thoughts that may come your way and deal with them. That's true for Gégé also. Gégé was 17 when she met Norbert. Norbert was 25. The first thing that Norbert did was to bring Gégé to Lablinière, and we spoke. And immediately I gave Gégé some books, and immediately Gégé took the books and read them. Now, so in other words, Gégé was receptive to this kind of ideas. When I read the book for the first time at age 27, I told Simon, you ought to read the books too, because if you don't read the books, we are not going to be able to live together. And the reason is simple, is because one person is enlightened, shall we say, and may talk about everything, and the other person cannot talk about certain subjects because it generates fears in her body, and she can't recognize the fears as fear. She thinks she is the fear. She cannot see the fear as a foreign entity. That's the problem. That's what we are living currently with this business of Auschwitz-Birkenau. Auschwitz-Birkenau is finished. It has had 5 years of existence between 1940 and 1945. It has been finished since 1945, but it's not finished in the head of Simon, Devo, Alice, and most of the people living in Israel today who are giving hell to the Palestinian people. And the Israelis are armed to the back teeth, even with nuclear weapons. So in our family, who is receptive to the concept of the unconscious mind, or the voice within, and who is not so receptive, in other words, who is fully identified to the feelings they get from that inner voice. But that's easy. We can take Simon, Ariane, Devo, and Alice. That's for the Australian family. And for the French family, that's Yvette, Marcel, Léon, Jacques, Régine, Stéphane, Nadine, Florence, Yannick, Malone, and Philippe. And in the children, Thomas, Julie, and Moran. And in the children, who is not affected by the voice within? Pierre, Simon, Johan, Edwin, and Benoit. And the others are too little. You know, we have Charlie, we have Victor, and we have Alex and Yana. It's quite simple, and it's quite an interesting concept. Being affected by the content of the non-conscious mind. And that means I am fully identified to the content of the non-conscious mind. And how do I know that? I check my swing dance movement. If my swing dance movement tells me, no, I do not want to talk about the past, that means the past is affecting me. The past is gone. What is affecting me is the energy of the past, which is still living in me. But since I am fully identified to it, I don't even realize that it's there. And the danger is Jean-Paul, because he talks about it. Jean-Paul has never ever been the danger. In the last 10 years, or in the last 50 years, as in the last 2000 years. Jean-Paul is only the trigger, which is not the same. Mr. Kaltop, Yael, Mrs. Ventura, Mr. Vaux, Mrs. Vass, Mrs. Jesus Danon, to name but a few of the psychotherapists I have met so far, which are sick of the same disease, the same lack of ease. They are the next one to use nuclear weapons and nuclear submarines and all these weapons we have to protect their asshole. And that's why they have injected me by force with 10 gorillas monster on my back 5 times in a row. Thank you very much. So Sydney, everything is linked. It's all one. It's very easy. It's a lot of fun actually. So thank you, Sydney, for the opportunity to express. I know you were not involved in that one, but I was starting a conversation with you, and I catch it when that happened to me, because there is a flow of logical sequence that comes, and it's always interesting to have recorded on a dictaphone. So I love you. I could have that conversation with you at lunchtime and tell you exactly the same thing. Okay, see you later. Thank you. Bye for now. Takuk.